Hi guys, welcome to another stream. Today we're gonna be talking about attachment and how to practice detachment and letting go. I'm not gonna be reviewing any books today. I'm just gonna be talking about detachment and how to let go of things. So just gonna be, talking about those topics. Um, so let's check the chat. All right, guys. Um, so Buddha said attachment is the root of suffering. So, which means when we get attached to something, whether it's people, experiences, or you know goals, and we get attached so much to these things that if something, if people were to live our lives, or if some things will not go our way, we get to like start suffering, or we are in pain. For example, if you are attached to a significant other, or maybe a person that you like, and that person at one point decides to leave your life, you are going to be hurt, and you're going to suffer their absence. And that's completely normal, but sometimes we get too much attached to these people or these experiences, that when they leave our lives, we get into this state of mind that is very hard, like it's pain, suffering, and sometimes you cannot even function and do the daily activities. And that's hard for some people, and that's when you are attached to something, to a person, and if you're attached to an experience, for example, like maybe experiences from the past, whether they're good or bad, you're still attached to these experiences and constantly thinking about them. You are also like suffering. You are thinking and you are hurting yourself when you think about these past experiences. And when you're attached to a goal, let's see, I, I don't know, you say like, I'll be happy when I get this, or I'll be happy when I buy this thing, or I will be happy when I'm with this person, whatever. You are in this anxious state of mind, because you just waiting for that to happen. But if it doesn't happen, then what? You're gonna be disappointed. You're gonna probably be sad that it didn't go your way, or how you were imagining that it's gonna be. So that's why it's very important to practice detachment. And what I mean with that is that if you are in a relationship, or if you are going out with someone, the best thing to do is practice detachment, to not be too attached to this person, meaning don't make them your whole world, or the center of your life. You gotta also like have in your mind that some point in your life probably comes to an end, and that you need to move on eventually. So it's not being negative. It's not about being negative, and and manifesting something bad. It's just the true reality, because you never know when things come to an end, and relationships, friendships, and people in your life. Like there's a saying, people come and go, and that's very true. Like that's very true. You can be with someone for years, and one day they decide to leave, or the relationship ends. And if you are too immersed, and if you are too attached to this relationship or to this person, then letting go is going to be very difficult for you. You probably become obsessive or possessive, and in that process probably you lose yourself. you know and that's a very hard thing to do, because you know it could be very hard when that happens. So but if you practice detachment, like you know having your back of your mind, like probably one day this is gonna end, and I need to like be okay with that. you know you just need to be okay with that, and have life of your own, you know where you are, you know your own person, and you pour self-love to you. So how do we practice detachment? And this is in my experience, I think, is spending time with yourself, alone time with yourself, and just also like not expecting the worst, but knowing that you nothing belongs to you. Like in reality, nothing belongs to you. Everything is borrowed. Like the house that you're living, the car that you're driving, all those things can be taken away from you at some point. And even the partner that you have, uh, nothing belongs to you. Nothing. The only thing that belongs to you is you yourself. You're your own person. Your girlfriend, your wife, nothing belongs to you. So you cannot own them. They are their own person, and you need to put that in your mind. Like nothing belongs to you. Everything is just borrowed. you know I'm not saying that in a bad way. I just wanna tell you that nothing belongs to you. So just practice, like the try to practice, by spending time with yourself and being by yourself, being comfortable in your own skin. um, I will say go for walks, hiking, um, have a routine, you know and if you've seen someone, like maybe you're dating someone, have your own hobbies, have your own life, you know um, and you know be okay by being by yourself. If something were to go down, you're okay. I will deal with that. You're comfortable that you're gonna move on. That you're not gonna be like being like saying, if someone wants to live your life, whether it's a person or friendship ends, you're not just constantly saying like why this happened, or like what did I did wrong, you know stuff like that. You just gotta understand that some things come to an end, and that's just a true reality. And also, I want to say that sometimes in life we make mistakes. Like we make mistakes. We say things that we don't mean, or in the heat of the moment we just say some things or do some things that we shouldn't have done. And you need to like reflect and not punish yourself for those actions. Like you need to have the self-awareness that it's okay to, well, it's not okay, but like some, at the end of the day, we humans, we cannot just be this perfect person and, you know, be all good all the time. Sometimes you're just gonna mess up. Even when you did all the work of healing, when when you thought that that you're good and you never do or say something that you shouldn't, probably you're gonna end up doing it. And that's just as being human. Humans, are imperfect, and you will never be perfect. But to have the self awareness of saying, I did this and it wasn't right. I made this mistake and it wasn't right. And realize that what you did was wrong, and let it go and say, I'm gonna do better next time. I'm gonna do better, or I will never do that again. I will do better and I will change. To have the self awareness is very important, and also to let it go of the past. If you made a mistake, if you say something that you shouldn't, if you messed up, it's already done. There is nothing that you can do to go back to the past and change it, no matter how mad you are, no matter how many times you cry, or you punch the wall, or you are mad at yourself. There is nothing that you can do that you can go back and change the behavior. So try to accept things for how they are right now, in the present moment, and have some awareness that whatever you did cannot be undone, cannot be changed. But the only thing you can do is take accountability for your actions, and just move on from those experiences. Not punish yourself, because then that's like that's self-destructive. If you keep punishing yourself for past mistakes, or things that you have done, I don't think you will ever find freedom. you know you need to say to yourself that you're gonna do better right now, so you can have, you cannot make those mistakes in the future. you know and you need to let go of those actions that you have done in the past, because you thinking about them, saying, I shouldn't have said that, or I shouldn't have done that, or like, like, that's just punishing yourself. you know and this is just, like, just saying, some things that you have said probably to someone when you were mad, or these things like that. But if you have done, other things, everything has consequences at the end of the day. But when it comes to, things like that, you can change and do better. You can do better. But you need to let go of, the past. And who knows, maybe nothing will be the same ever again, but it could be better, because you already have, the mindset that like, you're not going to be doing this, making the same mistakes, because it's not good for you, or for the other person, or for the people around you. So, you know take accountability for your actions, and don't look back to the past. Look back to reflect, to take notes, but don't stay there to punish yourself that you have done something different, because it's already done, whatever you have done. and let go of the past, let go, of everything, so you can, have a better present and a better future. And practice detachment. Like every day, I think, is a learning process for you, because sometimes we think that we already know everything, that we are this, we are this kind of person, that you know how to handle things, but in reality sometimes you you're not. Like sometimes, you could make mistakes, you could say something that you didn't mean, or you can do things. Like every day should be a learning experience for you to try to become a better human being. And if you have done something, that was not right, you should take accountability and apologize, and move on. Because at the end of the day, nobody's perfect, and you need to move on. Like you cannot get stuck in the past and punish yourself for something you have done, but you are trying to change. You're trying to become a better person. So, guys, um, I would say, you know, practice detachment, be self aware of your actions, and just remember that you're not perfect, that you can still fail, you can still make mistakes, and that every day is, a new learning experience that you can, put in your life to do better. So, how can you practice detachment? Like, I'm not saying to be cold and, heartless, or just not care. You just need to have a mindset that if things were to go down, or things were to fail, that you will be okay, and you will, continue, living your life, and you will continue pushing. You need to realize things come to an end, whether they're good, whether they're bad. Nothing is permanent, everything is temporary. So, you know um, just be okay when things end, and have the courage to, to keep living and keep moving forward. And when you made a mistake, or when you do something that you shouldn't, um, just be aware, self-reflect, take accountability, and and aspire to do better in life. Because you know the journey to healed, I think, is it's not like, you cannot put a timeline. You cannot be, I'm gonna work on myself for the next 2 years and I'm gonna be good, I'm gonna be healed. It only takes 6 to 1 year to, work on yourself and heal and be good. That's completely wrong. You can be working yourself and, be doing the healing, or, like bettering yourself, and then you will make mistake eventually. And that's completely okay, because you're human, and some mistakes have consequences. That's why you need to be aware of things, aware of, of your mind. But, if you're working yourself, and, like, doing the work, you will probably make less mistakes, because you are aware of what you're saying, or, what you're doing, and how people are reacting to you. Like, you probably do not make as many mistakes. But you still will make mistakes because, like I said, we are humans, and nothing is perfect. You can try to do better every day, and if you do something, take accountability for your actions, and then you know reflect, look back at your actions, take accountability, and then move on, and aspire to become a better version, like a better person. But don't get stuck too much in the past, because then you're punishing yourself for those actions. Like, what is done is done, you cannot change. So it's not worth it punishing yourself for those bad actions that you have made. And I know it's probably hard, because we humans, we think, we regret, and but just try to not let those thoughts overpower you, because it's not worth it. Whatever is done is done. There's nothing you can do to change it. You can only do is change now your behaviors, and do better in the future. That's all you can do. And to practice letting go, just remember that nothing belongs to you. Nothing really belongs to you, because you don't own anything. Nobody owns you anything. um, Nobody is obligated to stay in your life. um, just remember that any person that's in your life right now can one day wake up and decide not to be in your life anymore, and you need to be okay with that. I know probably hurts. I know probably you thinking, what did I do wrong, what happened, but you need to be okay with letting people go, and allowing yourself to feel those emotions, and say to yourself that you're going to be okay, because at the end of the day, you were born by yourself, and you need to be able to be okay being by yourself. That's why it's important to practice self-love, and practice being by yourself. When those times come, you are grounded. You're not weak, you're not desperate, you're not you know seeking attention or validation from someone else. And I think, when, not say that you master detachment, but probably when you get to a level of detachment, you become free, because you know um, that nothing, nobody and nothing is supposed to be in your life forever. Like I said before, people come and go, and some experiences, whether it's good or bad, don't last forever. So I would say, practice the art of detachment every day. And so one day, if something were to happen to you, or you ended up not talking to someone, or you finish a relationship or friendship, you're gonna be okay being by yourself. Or something, a goal or a dream maybe doesn't go your way, you will be okay with not going your way, and and being like, okay, I need to figure out something else, instead of being beating yourself to it, or like uh, being very disappointed because that didn't happen. So don't be worried about an outcome. About Don't worry about the outcome at all. About anything, about goal or relationship, don't worry about the outcome. Like, I want this person to be my wife, or I want this person to be with me forever, oh, I want to achieve that goal, and I want to have the house, I want to get that car, like I'll be happy when I get those things. Just let it go. If you work towards, eventually probably will come. Enjoy the process, the journey, and when you get it, you will get it. And if you don't get it, then you'll be okay. Probably you get it next year. Maybe this person is not for me. It's okay, you know. And in the process, meeting new people, or experiencing new things, you realize that you also have to do work on yourself. You think you learn more about yourself when you spend time with people, because if you get feedback, or you get you will do certain things, and you'll be like, that's not who I am, that's not what I'm used to it, and you probably take a step back. But if you were being by yourself, you will never learn about yourself. So it's important to also socialize and get out there, and by spending time with yourself also, you get to know yourself more, and how you react to not getting instant gratification or validation from someone. So it's both. You need to also spend time by yourself, and you know be good, be good on your own skin, because believe it or not, guys, some things will come to an end in your life, and I need you to be strong, and I want you to say that this is not the end of the world. It's not. It's just a chapter. Your life is still full of adventures, full of dreams, full of surprises. So whatever comes to an end, just say to yourself, thank you. Thank you, I experienced this. Thank you, I experienced this person. Thank you, I enjoy this experience, but now has come to an end, and you will learn something about yourself. Maybe you were not being a good person. Maybe you have some things that you need to work on you. And now you realize that, and you need to take accountability. You didn't know better. Self-reflect and do the work. Do the work. That's all you can do. Don't beat yourself to it, saying I shouldn't have done that, I shouldn't have said that, I should have acted this way. You know, you were just a human being living in this world without not knowing things. So you're learning. So don't get attached to people, especially relationships, friendships, because it will cause your mental peace. If you get attached, you will suffer, and I don't want you guys to suffer. you know I don't want you guys to suffer. I want you guys to live a very calm, peace, chill life, with doing the right thing, also like learning. But you know it's a journey. Every day is a journey of not knowing things, or going into the unknown and experiencing life. So just remember, you will never be perfect, and you will never know at all. You will never know everything. So stop trying to be the perfect person, because the perfect person doesn't exist. We are who we are humans. We make mistakes, and every day we change. Every day we constantly changing. So let go, let go of those all those expectations from people, expectation from your dreams, your goals. Let all that go. And you realize, you'll be less stressful. It's not that you don't care, it's just like, so there are some things that you cannot control. And the best thing to know is to let it be. There is a quote of, I think it's Marcus Aurelius. He said, "We suffer more in our imagination than in reality." So sometimes we make stuff that is not even happening in reality. We just overthinking. Just stop overthinking too much. Just let it be, let it go, and live one day at a time. Take one day at a time. And if you have done something that you're not proud of it, self-reflect, take accountability, and then move on and work to be a better person. Don't stay too much in the past, punishing yourself about those mistakes. Forgive yourself. You are human too. You're not perfect. And let go, guys. Okay, guys, I think I'm gonna finish this stream tonight. I don't really have anything else to say anymore. um, I just did this stream because I've been practicing detachment and letting go, but like even to this day I still making mistakes. And I just realized this journey of like working on yourself is every day. It's every day. You can never be say like I have done the work already, I know everything, I'm detached. Like I let go of everything. No, I'm a master of letting go, I'm a master of detachment. I don't think that's possible. Well, I'm not sure. I haven't, maybe in a few years, probably I'm a master, but like right now, I'm not. Still, learning and making mistakes and learning from them. I know I'm not like before, now I take things more, you know, like, okay, I'm more aware of what I do and what I say, but still, I'm still working on myself. So I just realized that today, like I'm not perfect, and you cannot live with the idea that you're perfect just because you have worked on yourself for 1 or 2 years. Like, no, the journey of working on yourself is probably is forever. Maybe you're 54, you're still making mistakes. you know like, I don't think there is a timeline to be perfect, to not make mistakes. I think maybe that's what life it is about, making mistakes and learning from them, and aspiring to be a better person every day. All right, guys. Um, Nobody in the chat again. Anyways, one day we're gonna have a couple people here who join, and we can talk about philosophy, letting go, attachment, detachment, all of these topics. Maybe even you know talk about more books, because I like talking about this stuff. But anyways, guys, I hope you have a great night, and I hope this helps you out some in a way in your life. But anyways, thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe. And I will see you next Tuesday, uh, 8 p.m. Eastern time, and probably we will review another book. I'm not sure which book yet, but I'll see you next week on Tuesday. And don't forget, every Thursday I drop a new video whether it's a blog or just a daily life, videos of me and my life. So don't forget to watch that on on Thursdays, every Thursdays at 5 p.m. Eastern time. Um, I'll talk to you guys soon. Till next time, peace.